We were supposed to be launching this channel with 3 videos so I could announce that I was splitting from my main before Super Mario Bros. Wonder came out, but we didn't finish in time. I really need watch time so this channel can be monetized, so I'm going to use Infokit to generate a reason for why we couldn't launch the channel properly. I have 10,000 free characters and I'm going to waste all of them for this. All of the settings are default except the sampling temperature is at 1.1. Now I don't want this to generate nonsense about AI and how it works, so let's change the subject to something more interesting. The Salt. Let's send an email blast that all the quantum computer game players on my service can register. You should know that there's an active mailing list. Check it out and sign up with the good usernames. You can always apply one of them if you want, and I'll add the ones I missed to mine. Let's update the amount generated. Also, once you've registered, you can generate new characters. I'm expecting to launch this week, so I have plenty of time to sort this out and get back to me, so we can make use of all the accounts we've got left. Don't forget to limit this mail blast is no more than 5,000 characters, and I'll definitely run out of space by the time we're running out of models. My email is ready. The subject is innovation to unlock your superpowers. The body, unlock your superpowers. Your email has been sent, so if we end up triggering some kind of threat, one of your contacts will probably get notified. I had this set as the headline so everyone knows this is a hoax, and so they'll hit unsubscribe before it gets to some machines. One last thing, could I get a range of salted games in/written in themes? We're providing the list, and you can remove the text and bring it back once your old friends like what we've cooked up. You now have the opportunity to feel important, because you can potentially, I'm turning on pause at the end, contact real influencers. Having a fun email list also satisfies the old Bill Murray paradigm that if it's fun, people will do it. The amount that you can include to this email will really affect the response, but I won't allow it to cover too many of your profiles. We're not going to start a political dispute or turn this into a new marketing product. That would probably explode the service in a myriad of ways I don't want to get involved in. Trust me, there would be nothing we'd rather be doing right now than listening to your customers complain on the forum. We're definitely not going to set the credibility of all our users on this one point, because we will very quickly end up with hundreds of thousands of angry mails from robots and their owners. Some of you may think a simple email is not enough, but we can start allowing some initial registration details into it, so I think we're going to see some interesting stuff. Hey, look, I'm now running another spammer service on this. We could remove this feature if it gets out of hand, but obviously now, the first step down a road that would make a fortune. Actually, someone sent me this thing. I'm running a spammer and this guy's really confident about our product's viral ability. He can't be wrong. I prepared a couple of sample spam emails for you to pursue. There's about 1,000 templates, but since we need to pass all the way through your inbox, this is just a taste. These he made specially for this current service, and I promise you that every last one of them will stick to your client. We keep to a daily quota, and we can do this for months on end before it crashes. These sound like your people, so you may be tempted to cut them down to size, but remember that you have great tracking and reputation management tools, so your database will become virtually impenetrable. Take your time though. Our solution can be tailored to every single person in the world. Check out our hacker news story on your phone for interesting articles of discussions. If you're going to be on the news, I want you to have a natural voice for a newspaper rather than a tired old written one. Once these start to get out into the wild, they're not going to disappear. First, I'm going to mention that this is a conversation between old friends, because I want to underline that I care deeply about all of you. Second, even though we can identify one another, it won't do you any good, because no person will ever read an entire conversation between two people, so it won't give us a clue as to who's on which side. In fact, I want to make this as hard as possible for you by making you out to be John and Susan, who are totally and utterly, totally not arguing about which of you should cut back on the dosage of your coffee in order to keep your mother alive. How many percentages should you take? How many coffee mugs should you empty into the sink when you're finished? I have moved up here. Have a cup of coffee. Even now, we have penetrated the sun's affection so clearly, we're going to pull out from here. This one needs to roll into the sea. So the coffee. If you have a concrete, spendable, and now to scale public database of people's temperaments, such as a government health service, a government health department provide, you can hook into it. You can run your own tests and create your own alcohol based dummy profiles of each of all of us. What's more, I really don't think you have any of the weapons of mass destruction in your yard, so I think the smartest plan we can come up with is just to push you all together and then get a picture of what the city looks like when everyone's armed and killing the rest of humanity. Fictional news. This fake news story is written in advance. We're prepared to put up this fake news from time to time until you hear the truth. So you understand what I'm saying. Don't shoot your unarmed. Make ready to lie down and die children. Whatever comes to your mind. It's not like this, it's like this. Put all your anger at the truth onto the typewriter. If your publishing company will stop printing our articles, we promise we will wipe out all of your existing asset, buy up your fancy real estate, condemn your wives to a life of pain, and raise those daughters to be loony, fringy wackos. If you force us to shut down, we will laugh and buy another publication. You know that's not what we're going to do, because no one had ever shut down free American media or rights reserved. We're not pulling this copy. As soon as we get the chance, we are going to buy 10 different platforms. With every piece of fake news that people start taking seriously, there's another platform to create more. In 12 months' time, we'll have this so badly contrived that we are going to collapse in spectacular, predictable crashes. You're going to be more and more scared, at which point we're going to launch ad campaigns on the social network. And we're going to mention no subject that don't help your personal situation. I'll think of a few. Obesity and depression are definitely not our strengths. For example, is dinner going to be hard for you? With your stomach distended by overeating and lack of exercise? That'll just encourage you to hit the gym harder, and will give you workout regimens that your will not be able to stomach. But as soon as you do, you're going to look around at the middle class and find out what a good idea family dinner could be. And if you think marriage is a problem, you should go talk to all the aging people you meet while you're visiting a doctor. You'll find that way more than 2/3 of them are divorced or on their second failed marriage, which they'll keep repeating over and over again, even though they can't keep the electricity on. It'll seem personal, it's not your fault, although if you believe that other people are screwing you over and you could start committing crimes to look better. Or maybe a lot of people in America really are dishonest. Perhaps a lot of people are criminals, never wearing seatbelts, waiting in traffic jams, not pulling their weight, investing in unappreciated companies, not voting in fair elections, hating black people and homosexuals, or lying. There may be room for some honesty. It's surprising how much we can trust in gender. We aren't sure, but it's not very helpful to treat every person like some little turncoat who's trying to steal money from you, because no matter who you aren't going to be born into this life as a thief. But if we demonize other people, then people will trust us. Anybody, perhaps all of humanity, has good and bad qualities. You can see all of that on the World Wide Web if you take the time to look at it. We have all kinds of jokes about profligate poor people. We have jokes about fun-loving married people. We have dark and happy cartoons about young boys having to carry heavy loads for their adulter wives. We have kittens in cages to warn the people about pain of captivity. We have incredibly optimistic advertisements that do amazing things with math. We have mind games to make you think you can save lives. If you keep doing it, though, then we'll eat your babies. Maybe then you'll have to abandon your pets, marry somebody already in a relationship, have a second job, and get a 3-year-old plan together. There's no reason we can't have all that. The more pessimistic fantasies seem designed to make you feel bad about yourself so that you'll listen to our even more pessimistic ones and think the depressing stories about individual people are trivial and inconsequential. Sometimes they do that anyway. That didn't mean we aren't entertaining, it just means that when we have a conversation about despair with another one, the kind of ideas you wanted to think about get more airtime. Although I wouldn't hold your breath about waiting for a family dinner. Hold on, I need a drink. Waiting for a family dinner that will lead to happily ever after. The only way to avoid suffering is to assume that it's all your fault. The Other Shoulders by John. In The Other Shoulders. Fuck pa. And then a lot of Russian. Put a full stop there. Oh, some more Russian. Okay, well, I don't speak Russian. English version. Do you know how to chew? Then this is Choip. Enter your life by the green door, by Mary. It's the green door. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Brazil has thousands upon thousands of car taxis traveling the city center throughout the day. But why would people feel like it's okay to use their vehicles at all? It's amazing because if I decide I want to drive my car and park it in my garage at home, guess what? I have to pay for it with my hard-earned money. And now we have idiots coming to cars parked in the street at night and just stealing it. So every Saturday, this rider takes his rented car out and drives around the city center for hours at a time. Trains aren't really the finest form of transport in a big city. Photographing car thefts. Well, that's a shame.